Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 74 of the Talking with a Dad podcast. This evening, Stevie, what do we got, man?
Got a whole bunch of stuff, man. Let me just take a sip out of my thermos over here. Oh, sorry.
But you're really bad at this. I wish I had like a monster or something and to do the turn and drink. If you guys aren't watching the audio podcast, come over to the video for that section right there. It was pretty good. Steve did a bit. It was great.
And if you are watching the audio podcast, you're pretty amazing.
Yeah, you have
been listening. We're going Moscow Mule tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm in such a food coma that my entire life is shut down right now.
What's going on, buddy? How was your day, man? How was your week? How's your life going?
Oof, that's a really leading question. And the answers of the likes you don't want to know. I got my car back today. That was pretty sick.
Nice.
That's a topic on the list. Actually, I forgot to bring my the paper in here that shows the breakdown of all the repairs. It's 3 pages long. It's 3 pages long.
We found a small dragon in the ignition, so we removed that as well.
I forgot to bring it. Maybe we'll do that for Monday. I'll bring it and we'll talk about it. What else? Play a lot of video games today, as I always do.
Yeah, what'd you play?
I was playing Divinity Original Sin 2.
Okay.
I'm doing a solo playthrough. Me, Shane Thomas and I beat it the other night. Beat the final boss. Game's over. Ending cutscene. Very good. It took about 67, 68 hours, something like that. It's a pretty long game. And now that has where we would start combat and something would happen that we're like, all right, we need to reset. We need to try this again. You need to be there. I'm going to have to be in the middle, we need to spread some people out. So there's a lot of strategy to it, but game's fantastic. Game is absolutely one of the best games I've ever played.
Didn't disappoint, huh?
No, the 3 of us are starting another campaign in it.
Okay.
Right? It's one story, right? But there's so many things to do within the story that you don't get everything on the first time. And I'm also playing a solo play where I'm only using 2 characters. It's a 4-player party. And if I was playing solo, I could play with all 4 characters. But I'm playing with just 2, and I'm gonna try to do it with just 2 the entire thing, and see how that goes. So
nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got your car back. Beat a video game. Had some yum sauce on your food tonight.
Lots of yum sauce.
It just sounds like a threat, right? If I was out in a social gathering and someone's like, yo, I'm gonna get this yum sauce all over your shoe, I'd be like, oh.
No, okay. Well, you can't say it's context, right? Context, because that sounds way wrong. That sounds way wrong. It's all about the context, my friend. It's all about the context. Yum sauce is very good in both contexts, to be fair. Yeah. What did you do today?
So I kind of reeled from my defeat in trying to buy a PlayStation 5 yesterday. But like I was saying before in the pre-show, man, at one point it literally felt like gambling. Oh yeah, I forgot. It was me, Santana, my mother-in-law, and Pete from work was help. We were all in it together, and I think I got the furthest last night. Okay. In the cart. Proceed to check out. We're charging your card now, and I was like, I did it. I did this. I'm like, many have tried. I succeeded. Why does it say, oops, something went wrong? And then it pulled it out the cart. So I was just like, you know what? Que sera. It, whatever. It's one of our topics because just as soon as I start to think that something, I'm missing out on something, Inside Gaming did a bunch of videos today. A bunch of industry insiders reviewed it, and they all pretty much came to the general consensus that they really enjoyed it. But if you have a PlayStation 4, don't feel like you're going through FOMO because you're not missing anything as of yet, which is basically
it's what we've been saying for how long, right? For months now. I feel like we've been saying it for
sweating at one point when I was trying to order it. Literally, I look like one of those old people at Atlantic City or Vegas, just sitting in front of the slot machine. I'm like, I got this. I'm refreshing. I'm hitting checkout. Everything. What the hell? Man, I'm sorry. I just looked down at my phone. I shouldn't have looked at this text. Have you ever had one of those moments where it's just like it pops up and as soon as someone sends me a "Hey Steve" text, I'm like, what?
Listen, I shut my phone off during the shows. I just do.
I can't. Unfortunately, I can't do that. It's the only way that my poor wife can communicate.
She's fine. She's
from the
doing
top
fine
floor.
Yeah, from the top floor of your palatial estate. From my compound, you know, when the butler is too far away.
Butler said he's not going to be doing any more walk downs anymore. But otherwise than that, man, you know me, my routine's pretty much the same. Today was my day off. Got up with the kids. Santana went to go do some schoolwork with Gavin and other various errands. Mathis is almost potty trained. Went on the toilet 3 times. No accidents. It's looking pretty good.
Okay.
It can go downhill from here, but this is obviously a pretty amazing time as a parent. And we bribed him. I bribed him. I should say I shouldn't drag my poor wife into this. I've bribed him.
Did you give him ice cream? I just remembered I bought ice cream.
No, I didn't give him ice cream.
We have to cancel the show.
Yeah, show's done. Thanks for joining the live tonight. I'm sorry, man. So basically what happened was first time this morning, I tricked him into thinking he was going to get his tablet early in the morning if he just went and sat down in the toilet, and that wasn't going to happen. And so I was just like, oh, well, whatever you want, buddy. Just sit down. Let's do this. He went, and he was like, Tabby? And I'm like, no, you're not getting a tab. But we'll go downstairs and get you an apple.
So mean, dude. That is devious. That is absolutely fucking devious.
Then I did it 2 more times. No, the second time.
God. He fell for it?
No, the second time it was just like he woke up from his nap, so he wasn't really mentally there yet. So he was just like, "What's going on right now?" I'm putting him on the toilet. And
You're like, "You go." He's like,
he's that look on his face. He's like, "What's happening?" Third time was good. Dorian was kind of laughing at him the whole time. The whole thing's happening. He's just like, "Loser." I'm staying in these things forever.
Mathis looked at him like, "You're next."
Then me and Gavin came down to play some Avengers. I should say I came down to watch him play Avengers. You know, his routine is, Dad, can you do this part for me? And then he throws the remote at me or snatches it right out of my hand. He's like, I got this. Ripped it out of my hand, almost hurt my fingers. And that was my day. Pretty relaxing. Okay. Not looking forward to the holiday season at the school in the slightest.
Sure.
The worst part of human nature is already starting to veer its ugly head.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, the holidays, the possible celebration of a messianic figure, nothing like it to bring out the worst in people. Like just I got to a long debate with an old guy where basically it was reminiscent of that one guy at the counter. You remember at the school, you came up to the counter right at the opportune moment, and he's like, "You guys changed up my i5 for an i7." And I'm like, I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You're saying we put a better processor in your computer. You're complaining about it? Is that what's happening?
That might have been one of the nicest I've ever been to a customer that I should have been very rude to. That guy was he was going to sell that laptop anyway. We both know that. Yeah. He was going to buy he was going to buy some sort of drug after that anyway. Like, I don't know what his drug of choice was.
Dude, the crazy thing about that was whenever someone has to say out loud, yeah, man, it's basically what do you call it? What do rich kids have where they don't get the money up front? It's placed in something that they can't. Yeah, he was like, yeah, it's just I got to talk to the executive of my trust. Man, I don't want to return this computer. I'm like, oh, is that what you got to do, Heroin Pete? You got to talk to the executive of trust, or by that
he did say that, right? He was like, well, I got to talk to the trust. And I'm like, bro, I don't care. I was like, listen, you're gonna sign the paperwork and you're gonna leave.
But otherwise than that, man, I've been looking forward to the show all day, man. One thing I did today that we're not going to talk about on this show is I watched The Mandalorian season 3, and I was talking to Mantis about it last night, and I was ranting and raving about people who don't understand how stories work, and there's a reason why the story follows this format. And I was like, man, someone's going to hold me accountable for those words. I hope this next episode is good. And sure enough, it was amazing, dude. I sat there. It was one of those moments as a TV watcher where I could do a deep sit into my couch, and I was fully into the show. I'm super happy with the direction they're going. And I know we're going to talk about Disney Plus, but it's going to be a good time to be a Marvel fan again because WandaVision just got its official release date. Kevin Feige apparently has sold his soul to Satan, because just when you think he's going to lose, you're like, this is it. This is it. This is it for this company. And Feige's like, it may be it for the company.
Not for me, bitch. We're back. We're back and better than ever.
But otherwise than that, man, it's been good. What do you want to start off with tonight, buddy? What do you? I'm gonna let you guide me in the ways, man.
So let's get the quick one out of the way. Right. We got a new graphic.
We did.
Made a new graphic today. Steve came up with a sick ass idea of a purple velvet, which I dig. I dig. It has grown on me. When I made it initially, I was like, man, this is why I don't consult Steve for shit. And then I made it and I got up and walked away and I wrestled the dog a little bit. The transitions were incredible. Come back. He's less than a white belt. It's ridiculous. Come back. And I like it. I do. I like it a lot. It's interesting. It's not too eye catching, right? The idea is not to make it too eye catching, right? Because like our faces are it. We're bigger on the screen. It's not quite finished yet. I think I'm still going to put a border around the cams. Okay. I'm not sure what I wanted to do. That's why I took it out. For the time being. So it's not quite finished, but about as close as you're going to get to being finished without 100% stamp on it. Yeah, we needed something different. I didn't like what we had anymore. I took the names away. I feel like that was a little much. And I thought we needed more real estate on the screen. Now we also have the episode number above us. So I'm probably going to forget to say it very shortly in the next coming episodes of what it is. And I'm sure there's going to be a time where for like 15, 16 episodes in a row where I forget to change the number. So we're going to be on episode 83 for 9 weeks. So yeah, I mean,
I think it looks, I like it, man. It looks good. I like, we're growing, we're maturing. Purple is a sign of royalty, which means, we think highly of ourselves. It's all subliminal. It's how you view yourself and how you brand yourself.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. This design lets us do some special stuff for like Christmas episode. We could put some Christmas lights around us or something, right? Like a Halloween, we could put pumpkins on. We really fucked up and didn't dress up for Halloween on the Halloween episode. We messed up. I think we got to do that going forward.
When did you start speaking French? What do you mean we messed up? I'm 39 years old, dude.
No, that's not an excuse. That is absolutely not an excuse.
The next time I wear a costume, it'd be because one of these little soldiers needs to go somewhere, and I'm just gonna dress up as.
It'll absolutely be next year when we have.
My next Halloween costume is going to be a fiscally conservative businessman.
I'm just gonna buy a banana suit. Zoom the cam out a little bit, get some more lights. So yeah, we got a new graphic. I don't know if the thumbnails are gonna change. I don't know if any of the other graphics are gonna change. I kind of like our header. I like the header where it's us talking into microphones, us screaming at each other in microphones. I like that a lot. I kind of like everything else at the moment. The graphic I thought needed to change. We were too small. We were like a third of the screen, and now we're like half. And I think that's what it should be.
Yeah, I think it looks good, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was nervous to say, hey, can we switch the color up, because I didn't know if you were attached to it. I didn't know if it had some technical.
It was just there, right? Because it's just the default color I used for the thumbnails. It's the same color I used for the old background. I just kept the color the same. Right, I was looking for creative direction on that. I wasn't sure where to go, and purple velvet is where we ended up, and it's kind of sick.
I'm actually gonna make this wall all purple velvet.
I was actually gonna buy a purple velvet suit.
Purple velvet suit. I'm gonna get one of those pictures of other black people with afros and very cosmic-esque. You're probably too young to understand what I'm saying, but someone's gonna watch this later and be like, I know what he's talking about. Back in the day, there were velvet pictures that you would see in most black homes where it was someone with a huge afro in an epic shot, and I need one of those back here. It's time to put something on this wall.
We could do that. How about you grow can you grow an afro?
Yeah, I'm not balding, so I can so here's the deal. It grows as an afro for a little while, and then unfortunately
it falls flat.
It stops being an afro, and I'm not trying to get
Okay, so we gotta get you to afro level for like a day, and we can go out and take a picture and make it look like a stock photo. I'm very good at photography. I don't know if you know about this.
Only if you get a white man's perm. I'm talking about 70s white man's perm. I need it.
Like,
you looked at it. I'm talking about what's Greg Brady perm. You need it in your life, man. Look at it.
We could do it. I could do it. I could pull it off.
Get a nice blowout. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what that means, and that will not be happening. Okay, I'm down. I'm growing my hair out. I'm growing it out.
We'll do it for Halloween. We'll do it for Halloween, man. You got your car. You got your car fixed too. You forgot to bring your laundry list of repairs in here.
I did. We might do that for Monday. How about a mullet? I could do a mullet too. I could grow a sick mullet.
If you grow a mullet, like seriously commit to growing a mullet, I will learn how to edit and I will responsibly edit the show for an entire year if you actually grow a real life mullet and rock it.
How long do I have to rock it for? Because like if we're another 8 weeks, I'm going to be in mullet territory. My hair is already getting long on the back.
No. I'm talking about you got to commit. I need a full rod mullet, man. It's got to be.
My hair is already getting long in the back, man. I don't know.
You got to get it feathered in the front.
No. It has to be nice and clean in the front, right? Because it's business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, no, but you got to get a nice business feather. That's when they swoop it up just a little bit, keep it professional.
Oh, I
could
get a manny. I could do that.
A little manny going on in the back. If you rock that for 6 weeks in a row, I'll edit every episode where there's a mullet in it.
Done. Done. We could do that. I don't care. I don't care what I look like. I'm not fucking vain like that.
This is gonna go as well as our infamous reading challenge. That
I tried, dude. I tried. I think I was a few hundred pages into that. We should do a fitness challenge.
I'm not trying to do that, man.
No, dude. Listen, like we could just do like miles ran. Doesn't have to be weight loss. It doesn't have to be fucking.
I'm not running anywhere, bro.
No.
My life is. Does running after my children count?
No, I mean if you could put a pedometer on and reasonably get an estimation, sure. None of this shit where you sit there and shake your phone like this either, you cheater.
Dude, I remember I had a contest going with one of Santana's friends. We got Fitbits at the same time, and she was like, "I'm gonna get more steps than you," but I was working in the city, and I was like, "Nikki, that's not gonna happen." I'm gonna blow you out of the water. I think I averaged at one point 100,000 steps a day, and that was literally me just walking around doing nothing the entire day. I missed those days.
I think I hit 100,000 steps one time, and I think I died shortly after.
I know I drank like a red eye from Starbucks, and that's how I got that 100,000.
You're just like running around everywhere.
I had to walk. But I like the new graphic, man. I think it looks good, man. I'm enjoying the streaming of the show now, man.
Yeah.
We've obviously grown a lot since we started Gaming with a Dad. I do miss our original opening. I watch it every once in a while because it cracks me up.
I have it saved.
Yeah, but here we are, man. Purple Velvet live stream. 5 people chilling in. Constant videos marching towards 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Me and Zach are just gonna go to the local bar in town, start a fight for the 100th episode. Well, Zach's gonna start the fight, and then I'm gonna finish it. But I'm gonna put myself in the best position to finish the fight because I want to get every advantage possible. So I'm just gonna show up. I'm just gonna show up there in the dorkiest outfit I can think of.
You're gonna show up in like chainmail. You try hitting me, bitch. Does it hurt? Oh wait, you got a knife. Oh, gotta go.
Dude, I meant to send you a link. There was some live no gi tournaments going on today, man, and man, this dude got his arm dislocated, and it was pretty bad.
I'm good, dude. I don't want to watch that. I will throw up. I've had so much food in like the last 2 hours that I could throw up on command right now. Not even. I think I ate at 9:00. So
if you can throw up on command, we can make some money. I can get you in front of a camera, and we.
We could do this. What do you think? I think I'm rushing the show right now. I think I'm rushing the show. I got some places to be.
You're streaming and like, Steve, there's nothing but a bunch of crazy Germans and Russian.
Absolutely, like, German cannibals.
Just give them what they came for, man. Can I make a quick detour on something, man? Yeah, you know who's the loneliest man in America right now?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, man. Oof. Talking about getting thrown under the bus, man. Like, I'll send you some stuff off the show, people turning on him, and I was like, man, you were just all for this dude. Like 2 weeks ago, man. It's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. I meant to ask you a question, man. Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Demon Souls. You never played it, right?
Nope.
You never played the original Demon Souls. Watching a few people stream it, a little bit of a controversy going on in that community for the hardcores for Demon Souls and all those games.
Okay.
They've all unanimously said it's too easy. Now, I want to qualify that for a second. These are people who enjoy playing difficult games. That was the selling point for me when you told me that, like, this is a hard game. It typically is played on the hardest level, everything. So I was like, all right, I want to try my hand at it. It is as difficult as you pitched it.
You said Dark Souls 3 though, right? That's what you played?
Yeah, I played Dark Souls 3.
That's the easiest one.
Yeah, I was just heading there.
That's the easiest one. Everyone's
saying that. Well, when I say everyone, a few hardcores who have a voice that can echo through the interwebs are saying it's way too easy, and they feel as if though even on the hardest level, like they're blowing through the game.
It's probably because they've played it 45 times.
Exactly.
It's like, dude, it's like, what did you expect? You've been playing it every day since it came out. What do you mean it's too easy? Stop fucking playing the game for 6 years.
Dude, it looks beautiful though, man.
It looked great when it first came out.
I gotta tell you, man. I'm liking let's get into the topics. I'm about to do that old man thing I do where I basically breeze through all the topics in a stream of consciousness. So pick one. We'll start. You lead me down the path, man. Let's get this.
Well, let's talk about the PS5. Let's talk about the consoles. Let's do the console stuff. The rest of the stuff is kind of like short stuff. I think the console stuff is going to be the bulk of it. So the PS5 has some storage issues, right? They're having some serious issues. I've seen a number of people tweet out about PS5 just breaking down essentially a few hours after you get it out of the box, which happens. Which happens. It happens, but I don't know. That's all that I know.
All right, so here's the issue. It started with one streamer, a guy by name AG. We don't have the time to blast this guy's Twitter up on the screen or something like that or put it in editing. But basically, he received his review counsel and he's just playing his game. Him and another streamer, another content creator on YouTube, game reviewer, both said the same exact thing, experienced it the same way. They're playing the game, they enabled a setting, and then as they're playing the game, the PlayStation went into rebuild storage mode. So if you have a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 3, you know exactly what this is. Mm-hmm. This usually happens when you hard shut down the system, and then it has to check to make sure that the drive and all the data is still readable. The fact that it was doing this unprompted during normal gameplay, not a great sign.
Sure.
But some things are starting to add up too, because as I started digging through the internet and seeing anyone else was having this experience, lo and behold, other people were like, yeah, it was happening after an update. You know, I popped a game in, I put a disc in, and then it started trying to rebuild the database. And then Sony has officially come out and said that they're aware of the problem. It's going to be one of the first things they address with the latest update. So as I'm working my way through that, I'm like, all right, so that's not too bad. At most, I saw that 5 people were experiencing this issue. I was like, what else is going on with it? A lot of people went out and bought, guess what? M.2s for their PlayStation because they watched that teardown video. I was super excited. Remember, I was griping for a while. That was like, there better be some form of expandable internal storage because you're not going to be able to play next-gen games with an external hard drive. All of that. And I feel like I might have been a part of the problem in this situation. I started calling people. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's in. Go get your M.2, man. Just make sure it's on the the compatibility list. They're like, are you sure, Steve? I'm like, trust me, bro. Did I lead you wrong with the stock market or the housing crash in 2008? I told you to buy. You bought. You lost some money. It's no problem. Sony just came out and said, sorry, none of that stuff is going to work.
No M.2s are going to work?
No, they haven't released the actual update.
What do you mean? It's connected to the board.
It's not unlocked. I'm not shitting you.
What do
brother.
You mean it's not unlocked? So they have it locked down in the BIOS essentially.
Yeah, same thing. So you remember,
dude? This is why I hate consoles, dude. This is such fucking stupid shit. Right? When I build a PC, when I buy a board, I buy a board specifically because I want the features that are on the board. Right? When I buy a PlayStation, it's because I want to be able to, I don't know, sit on my couch and play games. But if they were like, hey, actually the PlayStation only works if you stand up, then it's like, you know what, go fuck yourself. You know, like that's essentially what they're doing right now. It's like, well, we sold you this thing and told you it was going to do this, but well, it's not really going to do that yet. Well, then you didn't sell me the thing, and I want money off of what I purchased because I didn't buy the full product.
So on top of that, which by the way, that's a very Exactly true. 825 gigabytes. Now we went over this, and I told you
It's like 650 total, right?
it's 624. 624, I believe. So it's 624 of usable storage on the actual console. You cannot, if you went out and bought an M.2, you don't have to return it, but you are going to have to wait for them to unlock it. And this was the exact same thing that people went through with the PS4 when they started noticing that everyone on Xbox was able to run games off of their external hard drive. And people, PlayStation, are like, why can't I do this? And lo and behold, Sony released an update, unlocked that feature as if it had always been there. And the same thing's going to happen with the M.2. So that's what's going on with that. Otherwise,
dude, oh my god,
go for it.
man.
Go for it.
So this is the same issue with Tesla, right? Tesla does this shit too.
Yes,
there's been a number of times where there's hurricanes in Florida, and Tesla's like, hey, by the way, for the people who didn't buy the P90 or the P100D version of your car, we just unlocked the other 15% of your battery. And everyone's like, wait, what do you mean you just unlocked the other 15% of my battery? Like, well, you actually only bought this edition, but it actually has the full battery in it, and you have unlocked the rest of the battery so you could drive farther so you don't get hit by a hurricane. And it's like, dude, no, don't fucking put it in my car if what I bought is not the full thing that I could do. Right. This is why Tesla is a Ponzi scheme, and we could get into this another time. Right. But the fact that the PlayStation, there is a feature that they showed during the breakdown is that, hey, this is where you'll be able to put your M.2, right? Like,
right.
And day one, I can't do that because they haven't installed the correct update on the BIOS. Fundamentally, that is flawed to the core. That means there is other shit that PlayStation could do that they're not unlocking.
Oh, 100%. Where's my
Fuck that, dude? I'm so pissed.
For you.
That just pissed me off.
Here's the thing, right? I'm telling you, you heard it here first, man. I am speculating there will be no PS6. There won't be an Xbox Series Z.
I'd be willing to take that bet.
These are the last iterations of these consoles.
I'd be willing to take that bet.
You want to you what do you want to put, a burger? What
$5 wager.
$5 with interest, or what are we accruing interest?
Flat $5. We'll do a flat $5. It seems fair.
Flat five.
We got about 8 years to think about this, but
I'm calling it right now, man. Sony is going to be a digital platform in 8 years, and we're all going to be playing our favorite PlayStation games on PC. 100%. 100%.
Now that's different. You're not saying that there won't be a console. You're saying that it'll evolve beyond a console. There will be a PlayStation 6. Let's be fair. There will absolutely be a PlayStation 6, but it'll be a way to stream your game the same way that the Stadia is. That is the way that that gaming is going. That is the way that it's going to go, right? You might be able to download some things, but the drive is going to be small. And it's literally going... No, there'll be a PlayStation 6, but everything will be digital. And I think you're right on that, but I think they will still release a console.
So this is a bit of a sidetrack. So I always forget this cat's name, man. And it's not just because I'm bad with names, but the guy who's actually heads up the Xbox department, he came out and he addressed, basically did a Q&A with some press because it wasn't real interviews. And they were asking him questions about the Xbox and about numbers and sales for the launch. And he was like, I'm not going to get into numbers. I would rather talk about how many subscriptions we have, how many return players that we actually have, active players. And then he said, and not in so many, like, it basically just said out flat, he was like, it's not really profitable anymore. He was like, of the market of people who are playing video games, console gaming has shrunk drastically. And it's like, it's just not something that we're really making money off anymore. Microsoft has been more transparent about what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. I know that I'm alone in the forest on this one, man. I've been following the situation with Sony for a little bit. I think there are other things that are happening. I would not be surprised if they get bought out by another company. If there is a PlayStation 6, you'll get your $25 with interest.
No, $5 even. So here's why I think you're wrong. The PlayStation 3 sold 87.4 million units, right? Yes, the PlayStation 4 sold 113 million.
Do you know what the highest grossing console is right now?
Right now? Probably the Switch.
100%. Do you know why it's the highest grossing one?
Because people blindly love Nintendo and buy whatever product that they put out.
That, and also because it broke into the market of women, right? Women apparently love the Switch. It was something that wasn't happening
Sure.
before. More women have bought Switches. The only reason I say, and I'm willing to be wrong on this, that Sony and Microsoft will stop making these consoles after this generation is I just don't think they're going to be able to compete in the gaming space where people are more and more seeing the value of building a PC or even having a PC built, pre-built, whatever it is, and understanding that you would never have to buy a PC and go, what do you mean the M.2 slot doesn't work on my motherboard?
Well,
You,
it could
you
happen,
understand?
but it would be a manufacturing issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so but with that being said, the Xbox
for it.
360 sold 84 million, but the Xbox One only sold 50 million.
Yeah,
right?
there was a reason.
So the market is the same, right? Because PlayStation went up by 30 million and Xbox went down by 30 million. So the market's the same. So maybe it's not growing, but I don't think that the market is very small. I think there's probably 200 million consoles and probably 100 million users. That's a lot. That's huge.
No, that's so huge. The problem is that people are, so I'm trying to put this in a way without making myself sound exceedingly old. There are a bunch of things that happened in that from the 360 to the Xbox One. Then there was a direct reason why the sales dipped. And Microsoft, in bad faith, had done things that you may or may not remember that cost them a good base of their customers.
And PlayStation just beat them to the punch on everything the last generation. I totally agree.
Now, do I want to see consoles go away? Obviously not, man. Like I'm telling you, I'm the type of person. Yeah, there isn't. Do you see what you just did there? You see what you said there? That's probably the exact same thing that happens in the board meeting when they're looking at the profit margins for these things. It's like, hey, we're spending more money to advance the technology, and we're hoping to make our money back on accessories and licensing. But now
it's not a way of making money; it's a way of promoting a company, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft made the Xbox not because Microsoft wanted to be in gaming, but it was the best way to market Microsoft to the masses, dude.
Every time we go through this, I think about that goddamn Xbox reveal, man.
With The Rock?
Oh, the leather jackets. It was amazing. You'll never see anything like that again. Oh, wait, the Tesla Cybertruck. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point, man.
Every Apple product, every NVIDIA product, every AMD product.
Goddamn leather jackets
everywhere. There's leather jackets everywhere. I have one right there.
And so if anyone wants to cite my sources on this, man, there's another show that covered this extensively. Zach and I are not full-time content creators. We hope to get there one day, but Inside Gaming did a whole entire thing on this, and they've done multiple videos, so you can go ahead and check it there. And if you want to check the whole situation about the PlayStation 5 and the M.2 slot, you don't have to go any further than Sony's own website, where they at least were transparent about this and saying that it's not something that is going to be available. We're holding off on that update, and we want to unlock it when they do. I don't know. I want
to time release the hardware product that I gave you. Fuck you, Sony.
So now, if we're going full conspiracy, the next thing they're going to say is like, well, hey, the GPU is a little bit better than we let on. So we're going to release.
I don't think that'll be the case because they're not the one who said this is what the GPU is. Someone tore it down and was like, this is what it is, and this is what we tested it at.
So here's another interesting thing about PlayStation and Xbox. I was watching another interview with a developer, someone that got to work on both consoles, and he's literally saying this, like, you should not be measuring the performance in regards to the teraflops. Now, obviously, I'm a dunce when it comes to stuff, but as I'm listening to him break this down, he pointed out where the Xbox is beating the PlayStation, and it's exactly what we went over with. Yeah, it's exactly what we went over at nauseum in the last episode. But he's like, in regards to actual graphics, they're very, very, very compatible.
Comparable. They're the exact same.
Neck and neck with each other.
It's the exact same system. I've said this multiple times. It's the exact same system with a dumbed down GPU and CPU in the PlayStation. But the PlayStation has a slightly faster memory bandwidth. But the combined faster CPU, GPU, and a slightly slower, and by slightly I mean like 5% slower memory bandwidth, the Xbox is going to be faster.
Absolutely. Also, Xbox is going to get better updates for the firmware and the system, the operating system than Sony is. They come out more frequently. They address bugs and issues like that regularly.
Well, it's funny though. It's because of the Windows team, right? Like that's what they have to compare themselves to. Is like, okay, the Xbox team has to compare themselves to the Windows team, right? The Windows team does,
Yeah.
two huge content updates a year, and like how and an update like every week, you know.
Yeah. You got to keep up. Interestingly enough, last thing, if you wanted to be on the subject, the guy from Xbox did not cite Sony as a direct competitor. Now that could just be a bit of gamemanship.
That's
He
absolutely
actually
ridiculous.
he actually cited that he sees Google Stadia and Amazon's new gaming service
Yeah,
as more competition,
I agree.
who Microsoft is going to be competing with. And if you know anything about the direction that Microsoft has wanted to head in for years since the original Xbox, they have wanted to go cloud-based for a
For a
long
long
time
time.
now.
For a long time.
For a long time. Cloud-based gaming, cloud-based computing, everything. They want
Yeah.
everything running off their servers. There have been some, obviously there's some issues where people don't feel very comfortable with that in any regard, but that is the direction it's heading in. But it's interesting that he didn't even cite Sony as a competitor in the space, because I remember, was it last year where Sony and Microsoft came to some friendly agreement for Sony to use some of their servers or
Yeah,
get in?
probably Microsoft Azure, which I thought was bad when I first used it, but once I got to know it, and
Yeah.
started using it for like cloud-based Active Directory for an enterprise network, I actually really liked it. I actually switched to that from just a regular Active Directory. It took me it took me like 6 weeks, 8 weeks of actually just using it to fully learn it. So, but like what I'm saying is that it's a good product, right? So to do cloud stuff through Microsoft, they're probably the number one server hoster in the world, I would imagine, right? Them or Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Like I can imagine why.
They've carved that space out for themselves over decades, and they've done it well, man. But I'm just not convinced, man. I'm not convinced about Sony's longevity, man. I'm obviously still gonna get it for my kid, and it's gonna be parked right over there, and I'm gonna enjoy it with him when God of War.
It's huge. It's huge.
Dude, it's so big. It's so big. Pause, freezing, all that stuff. But it's a quiet boy. It's a big quiet boy. Xbox also very quiet.
Did you see the Xbox? If you put a ping pong ball on the top of it, it'll hover because of the way that the fans work. It'll hover.
But you did segue right into the Xbox
I know.
thing. Dude, this is whoever did this, you are the perfect troll and you are not the weakest link, because that whole, you called it and you said you thought it was a hoax. So Zach hits me up, says there's something going on with the Xbox. I'm seeing pictures of smoke coming out of the Xbox, and then I think you hit me like 5 minutes later and you're like, you know what? I'm not sure if this is entirely real.
I think it was the same text chain.
It might have been the same text chain. You're like, typically it shouldn't be this color smoke. So I start diving into it, looking to see what I can find out about it. And lo and behold, someone releases a clip on themselves on Twitter blowing their vape smoke.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I broke it down to you. I was like the smoke that I saw was white, and I think electric smoke is gray.
Yeah, no issues with smoking coming out of the top of it, but it did have its day one launch issues. Apparently, some people are having some real issues with the disc. Loading a game into the disk drive and the device completely shutting off or getting stuck in a boot loop, which if you've had a PC before, you know this shouldn't be anything that surprises you. But yet again, another console being released with issues that I'm sure they were aware of in their profit loss meetings right before they released. Like, how many do you think are going to do this? Like maybe 1 million. Like, it's fine. Release them. But again, not the worst release for Xbox. Not the worst release. I mean,
PlayStation hasn't had the worst release either.
No, I mean, we're not doing Red Eye of Death. I still feel bad for those people who got the 360, got it home, hooked it up.
Was that a day one thing? The Red Ring of Death, was that day one? I knew that happened a lot, right? That happened a ton. You know how you fixed it? You wrapped it in a towel, you turned it on, and you let it overheat itself. Because what the issue was is that something like CPU or GPU chip wasn't soldered on correctly, and the solder would get so hot the solder would come loose, and then it would flip out, and then you would get the red ring. The way to fix it was to make it resolder itself again, was to wrap it in a towel. I never had an Xbox 360. I knew my friends would do this. You wrap it in a towel, let it sit there overnight, and then fucking unplug it and let it cool down while you're at school the next day, and you go home and the shit was fine.
Unfortunately, we didn't have that type of information available to us, so It's interesting because I remember my buddy. It wasn't a widespread issue, but I was like, this guy's on drugs. Clearly, red eye of death. What are you talking about? You was probably smoking weed. You dropped it. Just admit that you dropped a damn thing, and then go to GameStop.
And
You know,
buy
see if
another
you
one.
can buy it. No, but he got it. He was super pumped about it. I remember him telling me how pumped he was, and then he called me. He's like, "Hey, man, it's doing this thing where it's making loud noise in the back." I'm like, well, what type of loud noise? What are you talking about? I'm like, how loud is the noise? He's like, it's really loud. He's like, oh, now it's vibrating. I'm like, what do you mean it's vibrating? It's like, and there's a red circle around it. I'm like, does that mean it's updating or something? And that was the last that thing turned on. So considering that this is not that, it's still looking good. I feel like there's a bit of a lackluster around the poor Xbox though, and people who purchased it, because I hate to say this on live in front of the chat. You were right. Obviously, they bought these things, and everyone's playing the games they were playing prior to.
Right. We got a good example, right? Reggie bought the Xbox and he's paying $2K. And listen, the game looks different, right? The game looks like it plays different, but he bought the Xbox to play the same game that he was playing on his old Xbox. Right. And listen, he loves the purchase. He's happy with it. I'm happy for him that he enjoys it. But that's the example of what people are doing with this console, because there's 20 games to be released.
Yeah, I mean the novelty of the game, playing your older games and having them look just visually a tad bit better.
Actually, they literally remade 2K21.
Are you serious?
It's different. Yeah. The whole way that the game works is different. Yeah.
They actually did that with Devil May Cry as well on the Xbox and the PlayStation 5. Like they remastered the game and it looks different, I guess. It's still Devil May Cry. It's still got the same mechanics, but people are having a good time. I'm still remembering that purchase. That was one of the first purchases when I got this PC. I'm gonna play Devil May Cry. I'm like, this was a bad move on my part.
I spent 27 cents on this, and I still didn't get my money's worth.
But again, I'm reporting on it. We're reporting on it because it's out there, man. Nothing out of the ordinary. There's a few isolated incidents where people have placed a disc inside the Xbox and it's gone into a strange boot loop, or it's shut down completely. We'll keep following it to see if anything happens. I'm kind of sick, so I'm declaring it right now. Unless one of these things gets up and attacks a small child, this is the last time I'm going to bring up anything about the console. Good for you guys, man. You're playing at 60 frames per second. I don't even screw you, Zach, man. Screw you.
Wait, you said 60?
Screw you, man.
60?
Listen, you're the type of guy.
If my PC drops to 60 frames per second, I'm throwing it in the fucking trash. I'm binning the damn thing. Get the fucking 60.
They're at 60. You need to lose a little bit in life so you can go back to that. I was watching videos. I've never been as inspired as I was today watching people play on their console.
60?
At 60 for the first time.
Listen, you were spoiled. Let's be fair, right? When you built your PC, I was like, dude, you got to get 144 hertz right away, right? Yeah. And you played at 144 hertz. Well, I mean,
I played on that TV first, remember? And I was like, oh,
yeah. And you're like, this is not PCs suck. And I'm like, no, you got to get a monitor. You're like, no, I don't. I'm like, get a monitor. And you get a 144 hertz monitor, right? 144 hertz for the console players out there means you get 144 frames per second if your PC can handle it. Steve's can just fine in most games, other than like The Division, and then it sits at like 70, like everyone else's does. Which is still more than 60. And it's just, dude, it's so much better, man. It's so much better. 60 frames per second. Wow, I'm glad.
Hold on for a second. Listen, just watch. I challenge you. Go watch Tyro Magnus, I think his name is, and he played Spider-Man at 60 frames.
I play at 240 hertz. Dude, and have a computer that can support it. 240, Stevie. That's 4x those bullshit.
It's like when you first get running water in your village, man. Is
it that good?
No, I mean, probably getting drinkable water for the first time
it's probably
is a lot better.
It's probably pretty sick, dude. You throw a party for that.
But like, yeah, people were really turned on.
60 frames per second, dude. Dude, that's so shitty. We're in 2020 and you're just getting 60 frames per second.
So our
Fucking
fourth
build a
episode
PC.
covering the next gen experience, I told you that they were going to try to make a play at making things more streamable and make the
Yeah, well, you
streaming
said you
premium.
wanted them to. You wanted
I
them
wanted
to.
them to. So I was watching people stream from their PlayStation 5, and now
Is
you
it
can
the
get a
same
cool.
UI?
No, it's different. You can get it. You get a little hexagon of yourself like over your picture. You can change that around if you want to.
Wow.
And it does connect to your YouTube chat, so that comes up as you're streaming to YouTube, or when you stream to YouTube, because you can't stream to Facebook on your PlayStation or Twitch. That looks good.
You can't even choose where you stream. Holy
shit!
This is a great.
The problem is
the
the camera for it. One guy was streaming, and everyone thought he just superimposed the picture of himself on the stream, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a great shot that you got of yourself." He was like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "No, the picture that you edited in, that's a really good picture." He's like, "No, I'm live right now." And apparently he thought that his picture had motion, his video had motion the entire time, and it locked there. And it locks multiple times during the stream. So that's just one more thing to deal with.
Oh my god! You know what never happened? Well, no,
Don't
I
you
can't say
never.
that. I've had a lot of weird issues with my setup, dude. I've had a lot of fucking strange issues. I remember the time I turned my PC on and the audio broke. Well, sorry, I turned the dual PC setup on, right? Because I have two PCs. I'm way better than a single console player. Two PCs, and
Stay
the
humble,
audio
man.
broke between the two, and dude, it took me 15, 20 minutes to figure out how to get around it. It was a bad time. It was a bad time. At least I never went to 60 FPS though.
I was
We've had SSDs for years. These fucking idiots are just coming into SSDs.
We're trying to grow this channel. You're shooting us. What's crazy? Doc literally. I was down with Dorian while everyone else was doing school today, and we're sitting in the man cave. And I'm watching Doc stream, and he was on earlier.
You
than
let
usual.
your child watch Doc?
No, he had not his headphones on. He was completely glued into his tablet. He's watching Baby Shark and all this stuff.
Oh.
He can't hear anything other than that. And at one point, Doc is about to play Cold War, and he gets the NVIDIA, "Hey, you should update your drivers right now. It'll make the game run better." And he leans back. It's like, update my drivers during a stream? Sounds dangerous. And I almost spit my drink out for some reason.
I've done it. I don't care.
It seems dangerous. Like nothing comes back. Nothing works after.
No, I mean, that's exactly what'll happen. No, but seriously though, on a serious, I'm just being funny.
Yeah, go for it.
If you got your PlayStation, you got your Xbox, and you're happy with it, I'm happy for you. That's it, right? I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you're finally experiencing 60 frames per second. As ridiculous as that sounds. No, like legitimately, if you guys enjoy your consoles and you guys, it's all gaming, right? So if you enjoy gaming, dude, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And yeah.
So Zach, you've been playing a little Destiny, huh?
A very little amount if we were going to get into it. 4 hours maybe. I can't figure it out. Listen, I'm very good at figuring games out, right? I'm very I can't fucking figure out what to do in Destiny, man. So we played way back when, last year, or maybe even the beginning of this year. We played, and we did some strikes or whatever. That was about it, right? So we're like, all right, whatever. We just threw it away. I went back to play because I was going to try to get a little warm up in if I was going to buy the Beyond Light expansion that just came out. I have fucking no idea what's going on. I can't figure out where to find missions to do. I can't figure, I just at one point just went to Earth and just started killing shit because I was like, all right, this is all I could do, I guess. Oh, at one point I found a quest to go on. I found a quest line to do, and it's like, dude, you got to go here and you got to kill these people, and I'm like, sick. But it was like, but first you got to go visit this guy, and I'm like, oh, that sounds neat. Let's go see what this guy has to say. And this guy was like, you need to buy this DLC to play these missions. And I'm like, I need to exit the game before I fucking delete it.
I was literally about to say that, man. That's all. That experience that we had when we downloaded it, that was just that linear experience. That's as far as it goes, and it doesn't go any further. You gotta. We
played every minute of it on video. Right, there's probably 50 minutes of it cut out because we weren't fucking doing anything. Trying all right, what do we do? We're just gonna do the same thing over.
No,
let's try PvP.
It was fun though. I got to be honest with you. Remember that last mission we played with the random? That was
when we actually were in a thing to do in Destiny. It's a very good time, right?
Yes.
I like the shooting mechanics. I like the special abilities. I like the character movement. I like everything about the game. But the time it takes for me to listen, I'm a pretty veteran player, I would say, in most games, besides Destiny, apparently. But it's the time it takes for me to get to do from one thing, and I'm running around the tower or whatever the fuck it's called for 40 minutes before I could figure out how to do something else. Is it me, or is there something wrong with the game? Do I need to make a new character and go through the story and then will that teach me how to play? Because I never did that, right? I never grinded a character from 0 to max level. We downloaded it when it was free, and everyone's like, hey, everyone gets a max level character. And I was like, sick. Right. So am I missing the experience? Is that why I don't know how to play it? Or is it because the game without the DLC, there is nothing to do?
No, I think we jumped in the middle of the movie, or I'm sorry, at the end of the movie, basically at the post-credit scene of Destiny 2. You would really have to have been invested in the game from 1 to 2 to really have enjoyed it. And we came in on a DLC and we beat the DLC, and no one told us that we beat it. We literally ran through it.
We didn't do a DLC. We came in, remember Destiny, Bungie left Activision, or was it Activision? They left Activision and then re-released the game on Steam for free. And we were like, yo, free? That's the best value. So we downloaded it.
But it's not the full game.
It is the full game.
Is it?
Yes, it's the full Destiny 2 experience, but you have to buy the expansions. You have to buy the 3 or 4 expansions now that we're up to. Apparently, you only have to buy the newest one because they made everything else obsolete. But you have to buy Beyond Light now to play the next iteration of it. That's where I didn't understand. Right, I had no idea that was the case because our characters had beat Destiny 2. Right, we had beat the main story, the main content in Destiny 2. We were already level 30 or whatever the max level is, and we only had gear score to get after that. And I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting, but you can't do anything because we couldn't do raids, right? We didn't have 10 people or whatever it takes to do a raid. So we couldn't do anything other than a little bit of PvP and some strikes to actually be in the game. So I was like, okay, well, I was like, I don't know, right? I didn't know that. That's where we are.
I'm just gonna say a few things because as you're talking, I'm going back to euphoric recall of that game, and I remember one of the things that made it so much fun was because we'd had a shitty night, maybe the last time we played Borderlands, and it wasn't because we weren't getting along or we were arguing anything. It was just a bad grindy mission on Borderlands. You remember this? It was one of those missions where it was like we went through this entire thing, and it was just like, well, thanks for saving that fucking teddy bear.
Yeah.
And you just move on. So I actually did enjoy playing Destiny. I was contemplating buying the first one and the second one on a PlayStation and going to play it, or checking it at the very least to see if it was on PS Now. It's got to be great, right? I know that people have had their issues with Destiny 2, the sequel.
So
go for it.
Here's the issue with that, right? Don't buy Destiny 1 because Destiny 1 is done. Right, it is as close to as what we're gonna get to a shooter MMO as we'll ever get. Right, so Destiny 1 has concluded, and everyone is now on Destiny 2. So what you have to do is buy Destiny 2 and the most recent expansion, and have 9 friends to play with.
Wait, but so that doesn't mean I don't need to know anything about the original Destiny, right? I could just watch the Destiny Explain video on YouTube to know what's going on with the story, because there is a story to this.
Sure, there is, but it's not. Again, it's not a linear story experience.
Okay,
it's not, God of War 1 into God of War 2, right?
Right.
This is an MMO, and that is what Destiny has always said that it was, and always touted that it was, is the only MMO to ever do a shooting MMO. Ever.
What's the name of that one game that we said we're gonna buy when it comes out? Kind of looks like Destiny, looks like The Division, has like similar gameplay.
I remember it, but I don't fucking know. We've talked about it 15 different times, and I have watched that stupid trailer, that 47-minute IGN trailer, at least half a dozen times. and I
I'm
don't
buying.
remember the name of it. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it too, sure, because I don't remember the name of it, and you never hold me to it. Destiny 2 is a good game, but
Yeah.
I think I have to make a new character in level from 1 to 30 to understand how the game works, what the flow of the game is, where the questing hubs are, right? Like,
Right.
I think that's what I need to do, and I just haven't done that.
So you have two amazing resources. You have young Thomas, who I know is deep into Destiny, right? I think I know
He
that to be
had been. I asked him about this. This is why I downloaded it, because he said he
right.
might buy the expansion. So I asked him about it. And he was helpful, but again, it was like the same thing. It was like, we need to buy the expansion to do the thing, right? To play the game, you have to buy the expansion. And cash, right? Is that what you were gonna say?
I was gonna say claim or a cash.
And cash is the same way. It's like, okay, well, you got to go to the guys that have missions. I'm like, well, but my character's already done with all of that. What do I do now? It's like, oh, well, you got to buy the expansion, right? Like it's that is the answer. I got to spend $40 to buy Beyond Light to play the game at this point, or start again from level 1 and play from 1 to 30. And at that point, I'm going to want to buy the expansion anyway. So why not just do it with the character I already have?
You know what's crazy? As you're talking about this, man, they had a bunch of Destiny 2 events, like tournaments, things they released. I don't know what you call them. And man, I just remember there was a huge controversy about some quest that they released, and it was something in the game where people have been waiting to explore this area or get this mission or get this attribute or this prize. And man, I'm talking about so many people logged in this day, and I'm watching them, and they're all breaking through the missions. They're doing the puzzles. And one guy makes it through. It's almost like something out of a movie. And when he finally got to this place that they had been working to get to forever, the community turned on the game. They were like, this is bullshit. You did it to us again. Like, this was a complete waste of time.
I think it's when Destiny 2 came out, right? Because the issue with a game like this is it's the players, right? That's the issue, right? Like when WoW releases an expansion, for the first, this time around 2 weeks, you have the new questing hub and the new zones, and that's it, right? You have that until 2 weeks in when the first raid comes out, and then everyone's going to start raiding, right? That's what you have. With Destiny, we went from Destiny being very shallow to the first expansion being good to the second expansion being very, very good because there's so much content now, right? And then they released Destiny 2, and they're like, you motherfuckers did the same thing again. But you have to realize that it's an MMO. You have to put a base game in there and then take time. You have to let players play through it and then give you another goal and then give you another goal and then expand on that, right? And that's what an MMO is. And part of an MMO is being able to do that content every day or every week for months and then get everything that you need for then the game to release more content. And I think the issue with this is people are playing it and they're playing it and they're playing it and they're not realizing it's an MMO because it's a shooter.
Right. It's funny, man. I'm gonna shit on your favorite game to shit on here for a second. It has nothing to do with Destiny. So this wasn't topic worthy, but Spider-Man on PS4 has a scene where he goes to the Avengers Tower. I was going to text you this, but I figured to tell you now. And he basically says, "Oh man, the Avengers have moved to the West Coast," setting up the Avengers game that we have now apparently. And in the remastered version, they took that entire cutscene out. Like, so you can go to the Avengers Tower, you can take the trophy picture and everything like that. But there is no more connection between Spider-Man the game and the Avengers game. I thought you were
I bet you Spider-Man never comes out in the Avengers, and I bet you that's why.
You'd probably be making a safe bet. That's what a lot of people are speculating, that it's a dead fish. We probably won't even get the Black Panther stuff either, and all that. It's a shame.
What a fall from grace that game, man.
But you know what's crazy? Everyone says the exact same thing. As a standalone game, running through the missions, game was amazing.
Sure.
That's not the problem. It was so much fun to do that stuff.
But it's 10 hours.
I know.
I can't keep saying this, dude. I'm a broken record.
Let's stop shitting on the Avengers. Let's get back to shitting on
Destiny. I saw a tweet the other day shitting all over the Avengers, and I didn't send it to you to stop this narrative of how much I hate the game. It was like, I think the tweet was, according to Steam and PlayStation Store, the Avengers has dropped 96% of its player base in 2 months since release.
I got something that's even worse, man. Someone put it right next to Anthem. They were like, it has joined the elite company of games like Anthem, and I'm like, oh,
Anthem.
you know
Anthem
what's
is a big
crazy?
one. Division is
Anthem's
there.
actually, oh, come on, don't shit on that Division, man. That's like
Uh,
kicking someone's grandmother
You
when
you
she's
do
getting
the
beat
content
up.
in a week and there's nothing else to do.
I know, man. But see, you gotta remember, I could run around the map on Division 1 and 2 and still have a good time,
Me
right? Because I
too.
can,
I can
it
too.
just like and fight stuff. I feel as though it would probably be the same thing for God damn it. Where was my train of thought here? I feel like it would be the same thing for Destiny. I have a friend and he is the hardest hardcore for Destiny.
Sure.
Since Destiny 1, he's that guy. I'm telling you, if there's an expansion, if there's a skin, not only he supports the game so much, he complains, but he buys it, right?
Sure.
That's how much he loves the game. If there's a limited edition that came out and it came with a hammer, any of that dumb shit that comes out, he has it, right? Or he's planning on getting it. And the one thing I've always wanted to ask him, man, is like, hey, if this game came to PC, would you get a PC?
It's on
And would you
Destiny 2's
play it?
on PC.
Yeah, like, but he won't make that transition. He's actually one of those people that feels like he's been betrayed by the developers of the game. And he's not the only one. There are quite a few people like this where they're like, man, I put so much money into this on Sony, on PlayStation. I bought all these things, and then you release a free game where basically everyone doesn't have to grind to get their character where I've got my character.
I think a lot of people didn't like that.
Yeah.
But that's not my fault. You know,
No, it's not your fault. It's the developer's fault.
Yeah, I never played Destiny 1, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't play Destiny 2 until we played it.
I kept saying I was going to play it, man. It's like Rainbow Six. I was like, I got to pick one of the two. I can't do both. I'm only going to try one in this life, man. You'll figure it out, man. You just need to get some Destiny nerds up in your life, man. Like someone that you
I probably got another hour in the game before I give up or buy the expansion, one or the other.
Just buy the expansion,
I
man.
don't want to. I flat out don't want to. I don't think it's worth my time. Shadowlands is coming out in 10 days. We got to talk about that. It comes out on a Monday night at 6 p.m.
Nice.
So show's going to be canceled that day. I'm saying that ahead of time. Show's gone that day. We're not doing it.
What are you talking about? Like a sitcom?
No. This show that we're on right now, that's nixed. I'm going to try to be first in my server to max level. So, listen,
I need a promise from you. I'm fine with canceling the show for Monday, right? You just can't get weird like you did when Classic or whatever the freak it was you guys were all trying to log into and you couldn't get in and you're like sending out death threats on Twitter and I want to play with my friends. Oh, bro, you got weird.
I never did that.
You got weird at work. You were like, I just want to play with my friends. I've been in the server live for 3 hours. I'm like, yeah, man, but you called me. I didn't call you. Why are you cursing at me?
I've never out of the blue called you, I don't think. No, listen, the servers are going to be fucked. Let's be fair. It's an Activision Blizzard game. The servers are always fucked. Right. But I'll be there.
Okay. Show's canceled, man. Show's canceled, man.
It's the first time I've ever had to cancel a show, by the way.
Listen, show's canceled only because I'm going to be outside your window with a camera recording the entire experience for the audience of you that first day. Because you're more pragmatic when COD is coming out. Like it's like listening to
COD released, by the way.
It did. We'll talk about that in a second because mixed reviews released the mixed reviews and
it's a garbage game.
Some people love it.
Idiots.
Some people are defending it. Obviously, other people are like more of the same with Warzone, camping issues, kill ratio issues, all that type of stuff. All the complaints that they had in Warzone.
These kids don't want me to show up. I'd fucking ruin their days.
Listen. We can get into that. In regards to the WoW releasing, man, yeah, take the night off, man. I would rather you go do that and then give me a good review on it Tuesday. Only problem is if it's bad, to cancel the Friday show too.
No, so here's the thing, right? I don't think it's going to be bad. What the issue is I bet you I'm going to blow through the content in that first day. I'm probably going to play it for like 24 hours straight or so, I would think.
Okay.
I'm probably going to blow through it in the first day or so. And probably do it on 2 characters, I would think.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'll stream it.
Stream it on the channel, man.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe I'll stream it on the channel instead of and I'll have you on as like a special guest. Maybe I'll stream it on the channel.
You can't have your co-host on as a special guest. It's
I mean, you're not going to be playing. You're just gonna be sitting there going, oh, what? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm playing the Avengers. I gotta watch this cutscene.
Listen, there are no more cutscenes left in the game. It's crazy, man. Friggin' crazy, dude. I meant to tell you this the other day, man. You're supposed to be my support system in this shit, man. I told you I needed to get clean from 2 things, man, or I shouldn't get back into one thing.
Boxing.
And I should not get into competitive fighting games. And I was playing Killer Instinct the other night, and
what is Killer Instinct?
It's just, don't worry about it. It's a fighting game, dude, and it has a vibrant, toxic ass live community.
Yeah, this sounds like my kind of game,
dude. Now I am up, and I'm doing well. And I just realized something. I actually was about to jump into a match with a guy who, probably based on his XP, was at least at the same skill level, and I pulled the bitch move, man. I'm sorry to use that language. I didn't.
You left?
Yeah, I didn't accept the fight. I was like, I can't lose all this XP. Like, I didn't fucking go through all this. I'm not going through what I went through that night with Street Fighter. I'm not losing all this.
You know what fighting games have never done that I think they should?
What's that?
When you log in, you should have to pick. You should have an avatar or whatever. Pick one of the characters, and you should just go and like be in a place where everyone else is, and then that's how you guys go to fight each other. You should be able to like walk into walk into a door and be like, you,
yeah,
you, I want to fucking fight you, and then the guy has to accept or deny, right? And I think that's the way fighting games should have their multiplayer.
No, that would make a lot of sense. I know that they are as serious when it comes to jumping out of a game, so I can't do that too many more times. I know in Street Fighter, you get, in some instances, you get one time before someone reports you. Like, yeah, this guy jumped out of a game, and they're serious about it because, you know, they live in their mom's basement and stuff, and it's like, this is what they do.
Sure.
I wasn't going to lose that XP. I just know that the reason I brought that up is when you go to play WoW, when you blow through the content an hour, right? Mm-hmm. When things start to get weird, can you get a little camera and point it at your face, right? Like, second hour, you can't get into server. When you start sweating and you start,
I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I anticipate server issues ahead of time, right? Just the same way, like when COD released last night, you know, if I were to play it, I wouldn't have started even trying to get into the server until 30 minutes after the game came out, because I know Activision Blizzard have server issues on day one of everything. So it's just standard, right? I know it's going to be a while. Now, the issue with WoW, the classic WoW, was a week after the game came out, there was 9-hour queues to get into the server, right? Like, that was the issue with the game. It wasn't that like day one there was 9-hour queues. Fine, I understand day one, but a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months after the game came out, there was queues to get into servers. No, that's bullshit. They did that on purpose. I'm convinced of it now.
Paper release, stalling the servers, weak release, soft release, jamming everyone up. It's always the same freaking thing, dude. Unless you're playing Injustice, where nobody's going to show up anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That game was 5 years old by the time we bought it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You misunderstood. I remember when it released, and I'll say it to those kids' face. That game sucks. It sucked when it came out, and it sucks now. And anyone that plays that game and thinks they're a real fighting game aficionado, you suck too. You should probably think about changing your life in various different ways, because if that's the decision, I'm sure you're making other poor decisions, like putting your jelly on top of your peanut butter and then putting the bread on. Weirdos. Get a job.
Listen, we're trying to grow this channel. You gotta have to stop being so aggressive towards some of our viewers.
Dude, so let's talk about Cold War for a second, if we can.
Okay.
Watched a few streamers.
Same.
Yeah. Doc was having fun with it. A few other people. I went to some no names too on YouTube. I actually did something really dangerous. I went into the YouTube gaming section and just started picking random streams. Always.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna pop into there. But then I jumped over to Facebook game and see how everyone was enjoying it. You know, people who've been playing it forever said it was a return to what they were used to. Nothing new, nothing improved upon. Other people had that exact same visceral reaction that you're having. They were like, it's pointless. It's more camping, more of the same broken mechanics. It's split. And I think I was looking for a more definitive answer outside of the conversations I've had with you. But same thing. Everyone who was playing it on a PS5 or an Xbox and they hit that 60. I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to set.
So here's the issue. Call of Duty's always run at 60 frames per second on a console.
So why was everyone having that reaction? Like, it looks amazing. It looks so much better. Is that just the placebo effect that they were all?
Or is it running at 120?
I don't know. I can go back and check the footage though.
Yeah,
like that.
The one thing Call of Duty has always done is always been the same exact movement mechanics. It's always run at 60 frames per second on a console.
They did fix the grenade thing, according to a few
What
different
grenade
people.
thing?
The delayed grenade when you're throwing it takes forever to leave your hands. The thing that I brought up the very first time I watched the game, I was like, wow, took a long time for that grenade to let loose when he threw it.
Yeah, it was a animation mechanic that needed to be sped up. I knew that. Like that's an easy fix. I said that every mechanic needed to be sped up by like 25%, including reloads. Yeah.
Maybe the developers don't think it's an easy fix. That poor coder that has to sit there and fix that thing. Zach, you gonna show this guy
slider probably?
You know what? I don't know if you're right.
I would imagine that if it's not a slider, then it's a number you put in, right?
I saw your tweet, by the way. Sorry to cut you off. I saw your if you need a tech tweet. Is that why you're wearing that shirt?
Well, no, it's the official return of Optic. It was announced. Everyone changed their names back. It's now Optic Chicago. It's not Huntsman anymore. Everything has changed. It's all back to Optic now.
Were there a lot of people that were attached to the Huntsman name? It seems like there were some people that were like they kind of wanted to stay that way. Maybe a minority group, but some people really,
I've not seen a single person who was like, "Man, I like Huntsman better than Optic."
Oh no, I'm not talking about professionals. I'm talking about
fans. I'm talking. No one in their right mind would have preferred Huntsman to Optic.
Why? What's wrong with Huntsman? I like the little axes, dude.
I like it. The logo was great. It was one of the worst ones in the league, but the logo was great, right? But it's the history and like, so, yeah, I'm gonna say history because it's 10 years old at this point. It's older than any other org other than Envy within, which is the Dallas Empire, in Call of Duty. That's why it's important, right? It's more historical than it is, flashy. And Optic is the true home. That's why.
Man, there are very few things that you have a positive passion for. But this is one thing. I think I mean, obviously, other than WoW and watching Holly Holmes get beat by Amanda Nunez, that might have been the happiest I've ever seen you.
No,
and you,
I was angry
Zach,
that she
dude,
fucking hesitated. Now listen, you could say that with
you laughed in a real way, dude. people who are angry about things don't let out a gleeful laugh. You're like. And I'm like, what? The poor woman just got decapitated.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know. There's a few things. That I'm positively happy about, but
Cold War isn't one of them.
No, I don't know. Why would I be happy about an inferior product? You can go back. You can go pick out 5 out of the last 10 Call of Duties, and they're all better than this one. Or probably even 7. You can probably pick out 7 out of the last 10. They're all better than this one.
It's funny, man, because as I'm watching people stream it, no one went through the story mode. So obviously I'm out there.
That's why. No one cares.
I care about the story mode.
Oh my God. You're not a true fan. No one cares. No one cares about fucking campaign in Call of Duty. That's a thing that you play on launch night because the servers don't work.
But here's the thing, as people are streaming and they're playing the game today, man, I was looking for in a clinical way, I was looking for signs of true happiness. Not happiness, that would probably be too strong of a word. Enjoyment, like actually seeing people who weren't deceiving themselves into thinking something was good. You know, when you buy it into a sandwich, you're like, oh man, I paid $8 for the sandwich. Maybe it's better than I think it was. That was the exact reaction I've seen on a lot of
looking at the rose-colored glasses, right?
Yes,
like, I did this. I have to justify my purchase. No one should like this game. It's not a great game. Listen, if there's anything that I'm an expert on, it's probably Call of Duty. It's just not a great game. Like I don't know how else to put it. The animations seemed like they were about that they weren't fully developed yet. The game played okay, but it's a Black Ops game. I expected to play incredible, right? Like if you go back and play Black Ops 2 compared to it instead of Cold War, Black Ops 2 was the perfect game because of the pacing and the way the guns felt and the handling, and it was like that from launch, right? It was a great game from launch. This game released with 8 maps. With 8 regular playlist maps. Now, I'm not talking about the big ones. There might be 3 more of those. 8 maps and 20 primary weapons.
No bueno.
That's not enough. I'm looking up the Modern Warfare 2 maps.
Go for it.
That's it. That's all I'm looking up right now. How many was there? There were 16 maps on launch for Modern Warfare 2. This is a game that was, first of all, this game was built on a 2-year life cycle and it was supposed to be built on 3. I get that. It was cut down by 33%. I understand. Modern Warfare 2 was built on a year, right? Built on a 1-year life cycle after World at War came out, and it had double the maps, and these maps were well designed.
I get what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. Problem is, I know. Hold on for a second. Let me make my case here. The problem is that face is amazing.
I'm not paying full price for half a game.
You know what? Let's talk about someone that has some real problems. All right, you and I have it really good, man. Let's talk about someone who has some real problems, and this is something that actually. Are you getting heartburn? Are you okay, bud?
I flexed a little too hard. My chest hurt.
Do you know who an actor by the name of Johnny Depp is?
Are you transitioning out of all this? Yeah, I know who Johnny Depp is, and I know the him and Amber Heard stuff.
Why are you not outraged by this, Zach? I would expect.
Oh no, this is bullshit, right? Yeah. This is the person we should get behind to support men being abused, and everyone's like, well, Amber Heard's kind of hot.
So wait, let's get into this, right? Because I just want to
break it down for me. Break it down for me.
So the defamation case that he had going against that tabloid in London, which, by the way, historically they are extremely hard to get any type of compensation out of, like suing them for monetary gain or to hold them accountable.
Tabloids or this one specifically?
No, tabloids in London specifically. America, they will actually pay out. A lot of the tabloids here, they'll settle.
I know. Fucking Hulk Hogan got a shitload of money out of like Gawker or something.
Yeah, they'll settle because they know it's
shut
bullshit.
The company down.
Yeah, the first thing the lawyers say, just like the NYPD, they're like, pay him. That is literally the catchphrase in tabloids in America. London, they're like, no, we're taking it to court because we have the right to report this information, whatever it is. I need to look into their litigation when it comes to defamation cases. Johnny Depp went in there like any other person who thought he was right. That man probably went to bed the night before court and it was
slept like a baby.
So he's like, I am so right. Like no man in the history of recorded time has ever been more right and ready to be vindicated. And it did not. And it looked good throughout the entire time. He's playing the tapes. It's all over the news. You know, Amber Heard's making an ass. She made an ass of herself 2 times during this entire process where she was outright caught in lies or had to explain a lie. This is worse than the OJ situation. Never has someone been so wrong about something than this judge. And not only did he get it completely wrong, he basically labeled Johnny Depp as a woman beater publicly and sided with her, like not even insinuated it.
As any good judge should.
Dude, he outright said, I believe that this woman was a victim and you are a monster, while not dealing with any of the stuff that was brought up. Now, listen, you can have a lot of feelings, and I get that. People have feelings all the time about this situation. Maybe they both were dysfunctional towards each other. Maybe he was physically abusive to her. I want to leave enough space for that where I don't just completely discount that. But the problem is only one of them has hard evidence, proof of abuse, of the other side admitting to verbal and physical abuse towards the other party. She took me and Mantis were talking about this last night. Her and a friend took a shit on Johnny Depp's bed. Okay. And he reported his interaction after confronting them because I guess that's the reason. I guess I would do it too because I want to keep this on record of why you shit in my bed and how you can explain this to me.
Well, man, it's crazy night.
And dude, after all of this, right? After all of this, just like the political system in America, people are jumping on their sides where they're like, no, Johnny Depp lost his part in Pirates of the Caribbean. His projected earnings from that alone,
100 million or whatever.
Exactly.
Probably a lot
of movie. From those movies. He got paid out for the movies he was in. Obviously, he didn't get paid for any future endeavors. Disney was not going to give him any money for any properties he had worked. So he loses the case. Judge screws him. WB calls, "Hey Johnny, can you meet us down at the office?" Asks him to resign from a shitty franchise, so he's not losing out there. But luckily, Johnny Depp is in a position like two other people in the industry, Jay-Z and Oprah, where he can say no. You know, that moment where they slide the contract over to you, they're like, "So this is the way,"
and he slides it back.
Yep. Like this is the way it's going to be. So they actually had to pay him out for his the money he was owed on Fantastic Beasts, and I don't think Johnny Depp is going to go quietly into the night. So a lot of people would probably prefer that. I know there are a lot of content creators on YouTube who've been following this, and for various different reasons, for views, for philosophical beliefs, people want Johnny Depp to just let this thing die.
Fuck
but he's not
that, dude. Fuck those people. You guys are the same people that would abuse a woman, and purely because you want this guy to be covered up so it doesn't look like a man could be a victim, right? And if you're a female, you're the kind of person who would abuse a man, right? Because it can happen. What happened here was at one point she threw a bottle of wine at him and landed on his finger and cut the tip of his finger off, right? And then he had to drive himself to the hospital because she fucking wouldn't, right? You're the kind of person who would do the same shit and then not believe that you're in the wrong, right? It's because women have been allowed to be so entitled for so long, and we want equal this and we want equal that, and that's all fine, but you got to be actually equal. What women want and what feminists want is they want it to be the opposite. They want it to be fucking they get everything and men get nothing. And this is exactly the same fucking case, dude. This is exactly the same fucking case. That judge in London was like, bro, if I let Amber Heard go, she's going to fuck me. That's the only reason he did that shit. What else could you do, dude? I've heard the tapes. I've seen the videos. I've seen the picture of his fucking finger 57 times. And I don't like gore, right? I do not like gore. That shit makes me sick. Well, some gore, but I have a very weak stomach. Right. That is such fucking bullshit that I couldn't imagine being that judge and not killing myself immediately after, because you're such a shitty fucking person and you're so fucking bad at your job that you would get fired. You could be flipping burgers at McDonald's and you could fuck up less than that and get fired.
Dude, so the problem is everything you said is 100% correct. What we're really dealing with here is virtual signaling. Now, let me qualify this. This is not one of those shows. Sorry, let me quantify this. This is not one of those shows that you find on YouTube where we spend time beating up on poor SJWs. It's not what I'm into, right?
No, I don't have time for those fucking people. Those guys are such losers, and they beat up on themselves enough. Those guys fucking,
I'm not here to refute
fucking idiots.
I'm not here to refute everything that comes out of that camp, and I'm not here to defend everything that comes out of the conservative camp either. But what we're dealing with here is real virtue signaling, where I don't believe that the judge was trying to get laid by Amber Heard, but I do believe, according to me, that there was some portion where it's like, hey, I could be touted as a hero. I could be on the right side of history, and that's a dangerous notion. Because your job is to be objective and view the evidence.
Only fucking job a judge has, dude. You're supposed to hear two sides and pick which one's fucking right. Not be like, man, you know what? We look back on this. Johnny Depp actually farted at her that one time, but she got pink eye. No, fuck you. That shit's stupid. That judge should lose his fucking job. He should be fucking shunned out of England, and he's gonna try to come to the U.S. because we're the most liked country, and we're gonna tell him no. Fuck you.
The thing is, it's not just about the judge, too. It's about society. It's about shows like The Real. It's about shows like The View. I can't say that The View covered this. It's about shows like that.
No, because everyone was so anti-Johnny Depp right off the rip, and then no one was like, oh, wow, we fucked up, boys. No, it was he probably did something. He probably did some of the stuff that he was accused of. So then we're right by default. Right? Because a woman can't abuse a man. It's only a man who could abuse a woman, right? But you guys want equal everything, you know?
But you have to have, if you're going to have equal everything,
right? You got to have equal consequences.
Exactly. Equal outcome based on the situation and the consequences deserved. No one covered it, man. And that's the thing that frustrates me most about this. Now, Johnny Depp could very well be a drunk bastard when he gets drunk, right?
Sure.
He could very well be those things. I'm not saying that if he abused her, he should get off scot-free.
I'm
saying that I'm saying that if there's a situation where both parties need to be held accountable, dude, you got to hold both parties accountable.
Absolutely.
When you go to couples therapy, the therapist doesn't sit there and go bad, good. Both parties have to be held accountable for the dysfunctional behavior. This is not groundbreaking stuff, man. Now, what's crazy is that I don't think Johnny not only not goes away, WB learned a valuable lesson, which is like, no, pay me. I'm not going to be canceled without getting my money. And also, I think that he should sue Disney. I think that he
wins. If it's in the US, he wins that easy, in my opinion.
But let me lay it out for you, dude. This was not a criminal case. I was explaining this to Mantis. This is a defamation case. He was not declared guilty legally of abuse, right? Mm-hmm. He lost a lawsuit against a tabloid, and she was called in as it's freaking mind-blowing. But it's also very scary to believe that at one point he could very well have been in a criminal case, fighting for his very freedom. Now, I'm not going to blow up anyone's story, and I don't know what the actual numbers are, so I'm not going to use percentages. But I know, just like there are wrongfully convicted people sitting in the prison for crimes they didn't commit regarding violence, or maybe it was race-related. I accept that type of stuff happens. I know that there are men who've been wrongly accused of these things.
Absolutely.
And you have to give people the opportunity. In this instance, man, you're casting the wrong shadow. You follow me? Like, the man showed up.
There's been a number of cases where on a college campus, a female will accuse a man of rape, and then the kid gets kicked. He has a scholarship, get kicked out. He's on a football team and does not allowed to play anymore. Gets kicked out of the university, and then a few weeks later, she's like, "Oh, actually, I made all that up," right? Because that has happened.
That's a real thing that just happened, dude.
And the woman won't get any repercussions from that, right? Yeah. You should go to jail. You ruined that other person's life. The same way as if the story was true, he had ruined your life, right? Yeah. It is absolutely a case in where there needs to be equal outcome and not just side with the woman every single time. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be investigated. It needs to be found out. And if both cases are wrong, or if both cases are guilty, then that needs to be accountable. Right?
Yeah, consequences need to be doled out equally. And by the way, by doing this type of stuff, you're not advancing the cause of battered women. Actually, what you're doing is you're hindering that cause.
Right, because you're making them all look like liars.
Yes, because 100%, as you continue to do this type of stuff, the women who are actually struggling to save their lives in these dysfunctional situations, who actually have the courage to break away, you're making it harder for them to be trying. Fuck, why did I do this shit to myself, man? I said I shouldn't put this topic on here because it was going to get me fired up. And this is exactly what happens. Now, the crazy thing is he didn't lose an actual criminal case in this. I hope he sues Disney.
Here's what's worse, right? Amber Heard is back in Aquaman 2.
Oh, but they're limiting.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She didn't lose her job. Johnny Depp did, by a way a court should look at it, Johnny Depp did nothing wrong. Nothing provable, at least, which in my eyes is nothing wrong.
Right.
And he lost how many roles, right? Infinite amount of Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Because they're just gonna fucking run that into the ground. He lost Fantastic Beasts, right? And he at one point was labeled someone you don't work with in Hollywood because of this situation. So you can't look at this and be like, well, Amber Heard's gonna get limited. No, because then you're part of the problem. She needs to lose her fucking job too. And Johnny Depp needs to be put back on Pirates of the Caribbean and given creative directing over it.
So here's the crazy thing, right? So there's a movement that is moving that started behind this whole thing. People have put up a red circle in support on their Twitter account for Johnny, and they did some polling on and stuff like that. And it's crazy because there's this one content creator who responded to the situation. He's like, "You guys are you're so angry and you're so passionate about this." And I'm like, you know why they're angry? I'm sure a percentage of them are just angry for the sake of being angry. But it's just like you just watch this thing play out, and you believe the same way you would believe that a woman who's been abused should be able to watch her abuser go to prison.
Exactly.
That same feeling. And, so it's just crazy. Johnny, don't go quietly into the night, man. Just get your money, man.
You have to fight this. And not even about the money. That bitch needs to go to jail.
She's never going to, I laugh. She's never going to. The crazy thing is you're going to be in prison and then snitch on me before it goes to jail.
Absolutely. Dude, I'm so over this shit.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, I just realized, man, you could punch me in the stomach for it later. If we didn't talk about it, I didn't get the timestamp for your car fixed thing, but I am really happy that that car is fixed. Let me tell you why I'm happy for you, because I know that it means a lot to you. So
It
I'm happy
does.
that
I love my
it's
car,
up
man.
there. My poor mother-in-law had to get her car fixed too, and she said the same exact thing as you. She's like, it's weird. It was just only one day. Just she was without it. She's like, I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. I'm completely
Listen,
reliant
I
on you.
had a car. I had a car. I borrowed a car.
No.
But I drive a small car. That little GTI is small, man. It's small, and it's zippy. I know the way that it works. Like the seat fits me, right? Like everything.
Were you driving your mom's car? Is that where this is going?
No. I was driving my stepmom's car.
Okay.
While she was driving my dad's. So I'm driving a Subaru Forester. It's like driving a fucking house compared to my car, man. I'm rolling around in that thing, and I'm like, dude, I want to just take curbs. I want to fucking run over like bikes. I'm like, someone give me some bikes to run over. I was excited. Listen, it's a good change of pace. It's nice to drive. It's nice to drive different cars. I love cars, right? I love driving different cars. I would drive your car and have a good time, even though it's an SUV, right? Widely considered one of the best driving SUVs, though. I like driving different cars, but my car holds me in place. Go around a turn, like you don't think about it, but your brain is thinking of holding yourself in place, right? Yeah. And I have a bucket seat. I'm fucking going around turns, like not worried about it because I'm in place, and I'm in this.
Not a Forester.
It's like a fucking bench seat. I did it the first turn I went around. First of all, the throttle's different, right? I have to get on my throttle a little bit to make it go. My throttle's not very touchy for as much power as my car has. Right. And the Forester, I'm getting on it, and I'm like, whoa, okay, all right, give you a little zippy here too. And like
that's funny that you said. I felt like I could jump curves and stuff. I literally got the shot in my head of you like in the new Mad Max scene on top of the
Listen,
car.
You know what's great? You know what's great about it is like with my car, it's so low, and I love it so much that I treat it as if it's fragile, even though it's not. It's a car, right? They're pretty durable. Right. I'm avoiding any sort of even uneven road. Like there's spots that I can't drive because my car's too low to get in and out of.
Right.
You know where the Taco Bell is? Over by the Walmart. Yeah. Not by the school, but like by us.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't go over that speed bump.
Yeah, I remember this whole situation. Like, or there was a situation. Didn't you almost hit it or some crap?
I've bottomed my car out on multiple occasions. Coming out of Shane's driveway. Shane looked at it one time, and like I just saw his face, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm hitting." It's millimeters is how close I am to coming out of Shane's driveway, and I'm there a bit, right? Enough to where it's an issue.
Happened on the way to a hockey game where you actually had to. Shane wound up having to drive because you got your car broke down or you hit something.
That's a different story. I don't want to go into that. We're talking about happy times right now. That's when I had my car for 24 hours and I had to flatbed it to a dealer to get it fixed. That wasn't my fault. That wasn't the car's fault. That was the previous owner's fault. I fucking love my car. Just the same as much as I love my PC. If I was without my PC for a week or whatever, I'd be just as distraught, even though I have a second one right here. But it's like driving like a fucking rental. It's like I don't want this. I want that. I miss my car. I got it back. It looks good. There are some different gaps in the fenders than were there before, but like nothing that's outside of like the realm of like manufacturer allowances. So it looks like it would have come out of the factory like this. It's fine. But front fender replaced, the entire passenger door got replaced, mirror got replaced, like a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. That deer kamikazed me.
I did. Just tell me the truth. I know you can't say it on air, but you can text me the side.
I'll send you I wish I could have strangled that fucking deer. It literally hit me at the wheel. Right? There's no possible way I could have hit it. I would have had to like see it over there and go, like it hit me, and it was just very sad. I should call and get the accident report. Actually,
dude, I'm sorry. I make fun of my wife all the time because Santana has killed more deer.
One. This is the only time I've ever hit a deer.
Oh man, she thank God, and I mean this like sincerely. She has hit a few going up to see her mom in the Catskills and stuff like that, and total like they wrecked the car. So I'm acutely aware of the damage that they caused. But you sent me the picture.
$3,500.
Oof. How much did you have to pay on that?
500.
Oh, thank God.
That's what my deductible is. Yeah.
This is why I love America, man. So you say they get you with that, and then you feel good about the 500. Did I ever tell you about my last few days in LA where I had, when we got the Mazda 3, first day.
Did you drive it from LA to here?
No.
Did you ship it?
No. I sold it. Here's the thing, right? And this is why this story is so good. I hadn't had the car a day before I'm pulling out of a parking spot in West Hollywood, very tight spot, and I damn near pulled the bumper off. And I'm just like, this is my luck. And I didn't want to pay the $500 deductible. So my new car, I'm driving around with the worst scratches and dent in the front of it. The day, like maybe a week or so before I'm leaving for LA, I'm sitting outside my friend's house getting ready to go into a Bible study. I'm just on the phone texting with Santana, and this guy hits me while I'm parked, and that exact
vindication.
And I was literally like, yeah. He got out the car and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, hey man,
it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Until he said he didn't have insurance. I was like, oh, it's all bad, bro.
It's all bad now. You got to come here. I'm gonna get your back. That's how this works.
No, it turns out that I'm still at no fault. I didn't have to pay a deductible because he didn't have insurance under California state law. So that worked out great. But that worked out perfectly. I don't know why I compared that to your deer story. Obviously, that deer was in the wrong and quite possibly racist when it attacked you.
I agree. If I could have strangled the deer and its family, I would have.
Killed all the young deer, the younglings, like one by one.
Hunting for the bloodline, yeah.
So we're down. We're down to the last one, but it's the money time. So Zach's gonna put his business acumen hat on for me right now, and he's gonna take a sip of the green tea. Wet the old whistle there so he can break it down. Disney Plus.
I'm still full from all that food, and that was 2.5 hours ago. This is shocking.
I'm surprised because you usually don't get that much food at a hibachi place, man. Like
I didn't go. I'm saying. Well, hold on. Let's be fair. I always get double rice, right?
Right.
Double rice is the way to go. But then I got that, and my mom had rice left over, so I ate that too.
No. I'm saying in general, hibachi places.
Oh my God. Did we ever tell you, me and Shane, we went to Charleston with my mom and my grandmother, because my mom was thinking about moving there, and she went down to go interview at a job and like look at houses or whatever. We go to this hibachi place, right? And we're like, all right, me and Shane are like, all right, whatever. Double rice, no veggies. Sounds good. Send it. This guy comes back with what I can only imagine. Do you know how big a sheet cake is?
Yes.
A sheet cake is enormous, right? It was 2 sheet cakes, one on top of another, worth of rice, and dumped it on the thing. and we're both like, holy shit, So guys chopping up, gets. I don't even know how big. Like, listen, if you were dying and you're like, you know what, the only thing I want left is a piece of cake, and they're like, all right, well, all we have is 17-layer chocolate cake, right? And you're like, all right, give me the biggest piece you think a person could eat. That was one portion of the rice. This guy scoops out in everyone else's plate, and there is so much rice left by the time he gets back to me and Shane that there was no point in my life that I ever could have eaten this much food.
But how much meat did he give you?
Like normal hibachi stuff, like 8-9 pieces of steak, whatever it was. Listen, that's not the point. The rice is the kicker, right? The rice is the rice is why I love hibachi.
Okay.
I can cook a better steak than those fucking idiots. Don't get me wrong. I do weekly. But this rice is very good.
Did you just burp a little yum yum right there?
I almost threw up. I've had so much food. When I tell you that the portion of rice that we got was bigger than my fucking giant head, yeah. I am not kidding. I am not. And there was so much rice that we got a to-go box, like the normal size to-go box. It filled the to-go box to where you had to push it down and clamp it in. And they were like, hey, do you want a stapler for that to hold that shit shut? Like, no, we're not bringing it back to New York. There was so much, I couldn't eat the rest of it when I got home.
How much did it cost, if you don't mind me
I
asking?
don't
You
remember.
get charged.
I don't remember.
Dude,
I've ever told you my philosophy of if I'm going to pay for something, like if I'm going to pay for something that I have to pay for, I don't look at the price.
yeah, I don't like that philosophy. It's gotten me in trouble a few times. I'm just like, you know what?
I'm going to get gas, right? I don't know how much it costs me. I tell them, fill it premium, and I hand them my card. I don't know how much it costs me to get gas.
See, that's how I know you're not driving that car in LA. I would never, and not it's just self-serve there. With the prices of gasoline in LA, I would never just hand someone my car and be like, just fill it up, guy. Don't worry about it. When you get that $100
No,
hit back,
I do it in Jersey, where it's not self-serve.
Good point. But it's still very inexpensive in Jersey comparatively to.
I mean, $250 for premium, but like, I know LA prices. I know I had to fill up a car in LA when I was there for the rental, right? But dude,
Listen,
when you say you don't get enough food at Hibachi, you could not eat this amount of rice that they gave us.
I would have made it.
Listen, when our channel is big enough, we're fucking going back to that place, and I'm gonna bring you there.
I'm gonna make them regret it. They bring that food out, and I'm just gonna sit
there. 0% chance that you could eat that. There's no way. In one second, you could not eat the rice, Steve.
You're talking to a man that would rather die than let free food go to waste. I'm not letting any of that shit sit in a container. I'm gonna eat it right there, and I'm gonna shame them while I'm eating it.
You could. Now, I'm telling you, it had to have been 2 pounds of rice.
Here's the crazy thing, though, right? This is where I would have been.
Like hibachi plates. It was 3/4 of the size of the plate, stacked this high.
Dude, but my problem with that is I would have preferred more meat. I know that I can get better meat anywhere else. This is where I get upset with hibachi. Now,
you don't like the guy throwing the food at you, right?
I don't like that shit at all. I find that offensive, and like you're trying to intimidate me or something like that. And I find it weird that every guy that I'm at the table
you really can't
openly opens their mouth and it's just like, oh, and I'm like, dude, have some self-respect. Like,
you really can't have fun, can you?
No, I can have fun. I have fun when I read the paper in the morning.
I do enjoy a morning paper. I agree with you there.
I have fun when I'm sitting down and I'm making my coffee. That's also I enjoy myself. I have fun not having fun.
Like I actively enjoy this. Like Steve, you're just walking. I know.
God damn it! Listen to me. Enough about this rice, man.
Dude, when I tell you that at one point in my life I could eat 2 Subway footlong subs, I could not eat. And 2 bags of chips, right? I could not eat this amount of rice ever. It's like, you know how big a rice cooker is?
Yeah.
Fill up that motherfucker 3 times and try to eat that shit.
Dude, when Santana's mom had a retirement party at the bank she used to work at, they had one of those long ass hoagies there, and no one was eating it.
6-footer?
No, this was a good one, and it was actually usually those things can suck because the quality isn't that great. It's just a quantity thing. Mm-hmm. But this was actually a really good grade of bread, really good grade of of meat, and I wasn't fucking around that day. I was like, I'm never gonna see any of these people again. I don't care if they judge me, dude. But I did it real smooth. Like I kept grabbing pieces after I started the conversation with a person. I'm like, so how long you were doing?
How long have you worked here?
Move on to
here for 12 years. Yeah, wow. Well, you guys have a lot of memories together.
Like, I just kept going. I've gone to all you can eat sushi buffets, the most dangerous places in America.
I've ordered 12 rolls. 12 rolls at a sushi, all you can eat sushi place, and then read the thing because it's the only time I've ever been to one. Yeah. And then read the thing, it was like, oh, you have to pay for the entire roll if you leave one piece, and ate all 12 rolls. Listen, I regretted it after. Like, that's a thing. Like, I could eat a shitload of food. I don't mind that. I could eat a shitload of food, right? You don't get to be my size without being able to eat a shit. I could not eat this rice if someone paid me to. And I'll do a lot of shit for money.
Dude, you know what's crazy about that, man? Whenever we get to talking about sushi and food, man, it reminds me of the place you went to when the friggin' chef ran out. That whole scenario, great skit. But literally, that is. Look, I'm not claiming he can vouch for me on this, man. There's some shady spots in LA where, like, you walk in there, and you're like, "Come on, dude, is this really a sushi restaurant?" Tell me the truth. What's really going on?
There's some back alley stuff, I assume. Well, let's move on. Let's move on to Disney Plus stuff. I'm done talking about food. I really do want that ice cream that I have, but I don't know if I could eat it tonight.
Don't eat it because actually you probably just shit on yourself.
I mean, I do that every day anyway. What's the difference?
So I'm gonna eat a little bit of crow right now, but I want to, I was going to say this correctly. I never said that Disney Plus was never going to make money. I was worried, if you go back and look at the episodes, that they didn't have enough content on their shows
I think we agreed. I think we agreed to that. I don't remember what my opinion was though.
No, you let me vent it out because I was saying that HBO Max, I feel as if though they have more substance.
It's way better.
It's HBO. They have basically the world's. What just happened there?
I opened up Task Manager.
Oh, I was like, did you just end the live or something?
No, if you were watching the live, you would just see the Task Manager pop up for a second.
I feel like HBO Max, it's because it's HBO, they have this amazing catalog. It is what it is. Apparently, the internet and the subscriber base did not agree with us. Q3 for Disney was already. So you remember when we first started covering the launch of Disney Plus? At a year, they were projecting their hope was 50 million subscribers.
Okay.
Obviously, they've blown that out. Q3, they reported 60.5 million. And at their year mark, it's being reported by some trades that it's only 73 million paid subscribers. Some people are saying it's closer. Some people are saying it's closer to 98 million paid subscribers.
How much money is Disney Plus?
Depending on which package you get. So if you get the ESPN bundle, Disney Plus, and
just
Hulu,
Disney Plus, is it $10 a month, $15 a month?
$12.99, I believe. Yeah.
13. Okay.
Yeah.
That's $949 million a month.
Yeah.
And here's growing.
It's not to the point of where it's profitable yet, but they reported. Yeah, they reported that the losses have diminished greatly. This is exactly.
There's no way you're losing $1 billion a month on this.
Listen, I'm not saying they're telling the truth. They're saying that it's not profitable.
Disney reported a loss for the first time in 40 years this year.
Yeah.
Because of the parks being closed. There is no way that, dude, I don't know who ripped them off, but I want to fucking shake hands. They're charging them $1 billion. I don't. All right, I'm done with this already.
No, so here's the thing.
I'm so over this already.
Bob Iger's his legacy was already secured with all the acquisitions, all the smart moves he's made. Yeah, it's secured. It is truly Disney Plus was his brainchild, and now it is really secured. I'm sure the investors are really happy, and once this thing turns profitable, quote unquote, that's it right there. So that's the game, right? HBO Max is going to have to do something drastic because their subscription count is actually way worse than I thought it was. I thought that it was just going to take some time. It's not looking good.
For who?
Now, for HBO Max. And when I say it's not looking good, it's not like they're in danger of shutting down the servers and it's going away. They're all in at this point. It's going to keep going, but they're looking at ways.
HBO Max is the best streaming platform at the moment.
It's great. They are at the point where they are seriously thinking about releasing Wonder Woman 1984, the latest Wonder Woman movie that's coming out, straight to HBO Max to pull in subscribers. For some reason, it's not translating well where people are actually clicking. Now, if you're an AT&T's, if you have AT&T and they're your mobile provider, guess what? You get it for free. If you had HBO Now, apparently you got grandfathered in, and when that app
said it's not doing well.
Not doing as well.
Q3 this year, it was 28.7 million subscribers.
Yeah, it leveled. So I was looking at the same thing. It leveled out, and they were expecting more growth on that. They were expecting to be a direct competitor for Netflix. Now, expectation versus what it is, that's still not a bad number, but apparently
it only gained 1.7 million subs in Q3.
Exactly.
Okay. It's not growing as fast as they would like. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone knows how good HBO Max actually is. We've been talking about it for months.
It's amazing.
I watch it every day now. I've been rewatching all the South Park. I'm in season 20 or 21 right now. I think 20 actually. And I started from the beginning. I watch it every day.
It's way better than HBO Go. It's way better than HBO Now. It's better than any of that stuff. It's better than
Netflix. It's better than Hulu, in my opinion.
I
It's
hate Hulu.
very, very good. I actually Hulu's the only one that well, I guess I pay for HBO, but there's only two that I pay for.
I like when we had Hulu without the commercials and stuff like that. When we had full access Hulu, that was amazing. Now that I'm back to regular Hulu, I'm like,
I got fucking full access, dog. I got full
but
access.
apparently that doesn't mean anything to the new Bob who took over from Bob Iger. Disney Plus, they can't lose. They can't. It's just when you think they're gonna get what they deserve, you're like, oh, the parks are closing down. You should have paid your people. Your reporting loss. They're like, yeah, we'll struggle for a little bit, and then we're gonna get to a place where
they're making $1 billion a month off of Disney Plus. So they're up 13 million subs from Q3, right? Is that where we're at? 60 million to 73. That's a good growth. They probably want to see a 30% increase quarter over quarter, I would imagine, until you hit about 100 million. That's not quite that, but still 13 million more month over gaining a month is very, very good. I still don't think Disney has the content to warrant that much. What the thing is though, is it's such a useful tool for a parent, for like a teacher, even like if you needed to put some shit on, not right now we're COVID as fuck, but like if you needed to put something on for the class for the day, that is a incredibly useful tool, and that's why it's selling so well. I don't know how much content's actually on Disney.
It's a ton of stuff. It's a ton of stuff,
but it's all like the stuff that we've already seen, right? It's something new. It's a solid catalog, but Netflix probably has more. Hulu has more, I'm sure.
They own Hulu.
I know they do, but Hulu, the streaming service, is not the same as Disney Plus. HBO probably has more content on, like physical content on it. That's only my concern. But listen, you know what? If you can make money, you can make money. But I'm glad that Disney reported a loss.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, they deserve. Okay. I want to make a separation here, right? What is going on with the parks and the employees? This is something that's been going on for quite some time. And a lot of people go there and they forget that this isn't just, just a bunch of young actors trying to make it. There are actual people trying to support their families with these jobs, right? There are makeup artists. Dude, I can tell you some horror stories to people who work there and their careers have been ended by some screwed up manager at Disney. A couple of people have bounced back. The way they've treated their employees is horrific. But if you thought this was the year where they were going to finally be held accountable and they were going to lose, apparently it just isn't. So here's where they're going to win the race in regards to content, right? Everything rests on Star Wars and Marvel and their the animated stuff that's coming to Disney Plus, right? It's the anticipation. It's always the anticipation with Disney. As soon as WandaVision drops, subscription count is going to go up again, right? As soon as the rest of the MCU stuff releases, it's going to go up again. And they've done a really good job of positioning themselves like, hey, we have these properties and we've put ourselves in a place in the market where you're going to come back. I think HBO Max can do the same thing.
They have really good potential.
They have the potential to do it. It's just amazing to me. And if it actually turns out that they reported under what they actually have, because that's what some trades are saying, like they gave us the conservative, like, oh, it's
HBO did,
or no, Disney. Like it's 70, but some people are like, no, it's actually 98 million subscribers. Now we're starting to get back into, well, that's just the mouse house being shady.
What is Netflix at?
They got to be in like 100. I would say 150 million active subscribers. I would have to guess.
Okay, let me look.
How close do I think? And it's a lot of people were speculating that Netflix was going to go under because of their own poor business practices. Apparently, with the way they treat their content creators and people were, they don't like to keep things going for more than 2 to 3, 4 seasons if they can help it. I think House of Cards was in the minority, and that actually came to an end because of a scandal. How many?
Okay, so U.S. subs, they have 73 million. Worldwide, they have 163 million.
Okay.
167. I'm sorry, I read that completely wrong. I'm looking directly at the number. That's a 167 out of 163.
That's so. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Disney Plus is their only real direct competitor.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know why I feel so sad by this, but happy at the same time because it's just like it's like the bully that you're like became a cop and you're like, well, he's going to be that pathetic cop that drinks too much and drive around the town and harass the high school kids, but somehow he gets transferred down to the city and he becomes the commissioner. You're like, how does this keep happening? How does this guy keep winning? Apparently, that's just the path he's on. I got nothing else on this situation, man, other than the fact that I would love to see what happens when they do become profitable. Like, and what happens when the parks open back up? What happens if they break their relationship with the theaters? Like, how much more money are they going to make? Everything's been delayed, obviously, but they're starting to get back to some normalcy. Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to start filming again here really soon. They're releasing, and they do little PR things to keep people interested. So there was a highly anticipated animated movie called Soul that was supposed to be coming out. They're like, don't worry about it. We're going to give it to you for free on Disney Plus. That whole Mulan thing, that was a mistake. Okay. Now everyone's, and they forget, we all forget instantly, myself included, like, oh, this might be an evil corporation, but they're giving us Soul for free. They sent me a 20% off thing for their year to celebrate their year. I don't shop at the Disney market, but they did get
They're like, hey, we'll give you 20% off our stuff. So here's a fun little number. I found this. CNBC is reporting this. Netflix is 195 million worldwide subscribers, where Disney Plus has 73.7. Hulu has 36.6 and ESPN Plus is 10.3 million, putting that up at just over 120 million. So the entire Disney streaming service suite has 70 million less subscribers. They have a Disney Plus amount less subscribers than Netflix as a whole. Now, I think Netflix is going to go on the decline. Netflix is removing The Office, which I think is going to ruin most of their subscriptions.
It's because people were starting to own subscription. This was they talked about this at the onset of this whole streaming war. Not everyone wants to have their own streaming platform. Licenses are coming to an end, and people are pulling their content off of Netflix, and they're it's going back to its originators, and it doesn't look good. Plus, Netflix does fucked up shit, so it's like it's bound to happen. I don't think they'll go away. I think they'll still hold the lion's share. They just need to kind of tighten up on how their business practices with their own content. Yeah. Like you got to stop canceling shows after the third season. That's a bottom line.
No, you cancel them at the third season, specifically because the third season of any show is not great. Other than The Sopranos, fantastic season.
This is why you will never be in charge of anything where there are other human beings working under you, or you shouldn't be, because like you're gonna be like, guys, another banner year. Season 2 went off without a hitch. We're all that much richer. There will not be a season 4.
There will not be a season 4. There will never be a season 4. Sir, season 3 had 500 million active watchers worldwide. I don't care. Season 3 sucked. I hated it.
Oh, so what's up, big guy? You got anything else, man? Anything else you want to tell the people?
No, I think that's it, man. I think that's it.
Plugging the Nissan over there.
Well, listen, unplugging Optic is really what it is, because Optic is back under the correct ownership. Green Wall.
Shout out to Hex, the real Green Wall.
Shout out to fucking Hex, man. There's some stuff with the logo that we're gonna go over after the show. Just because I didn't feel like getting into it. It's super nerdy shit. I'm not gonna get into it on the show. Yeah. Shout out audio listeners. You guys are killing it like usual. Yeah, video guys, you gotta pump it up. You gotta pump it up a little bit. You guys are slacking. The audio guys are kicking your ass. And listen, it's the bottom of the ninth. You got to come back. As you put your rally caps on, you really gotta get it out there. You gotta promote the stuff. You gotta get more viewers. But thanks everyone for watching.
What Zach means is thank you for your continued support.
I hate everybody. Thanks everyone for watching. You can check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and I couldn't think of a funny website. All Talking with a Dad, one word. Look it up. You'll find us. I promise. Favorite podcasting app, whatever ones you want. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.